What is up, scent heads, smell beast, and frag freaks? It's your boy. My name is Mega Dave, and today we got a king versus a sultan. That's coming up next, and this is Mega Dave's Faves. Yo, what is good, Fave fam? For everybody returning, I want to say thank you so much for being a Favy, baby. It really means a lot. If this is your first time here, welcome. As I said before, my name is Mega Dave. This is my channel, Oh So Fraiche, and this is my series, Mega Dave's Faves. I do reviews on fragrances that I absolutely love, and I hope that you love them too. If you do, give me 2 huge, fresh thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoy the content. Also, think about subscribing and hit me decent, real good. Hit me right there in the old bell end. That lets you know when I'm uploading new content, because who knows, it could be your favorite fragrance that I review next. Today, as you heard from the intro, we got a king versus a sultan. What in the hell are you talking about? Well, in the niche community, there's one fragrance that we all know is widely considered the king, and that's Creed Aventus. And sultan, because of where it's from, Turkey, you're probably getting where I'm coming from. The new kid on the block, the wonder kid, Nishane Hacivat, big boy on the block. A lot of buzz, came out swinging really hard. A lot of people saying Hacivat better than Aventus. So that's kind of what we're going to figure out here today. All right, to start off, we got the Vampire House theirself, Creed, their monster hit, Creed Aventus. This actually is one of the first niches that really made it kind of mainstream, if you will. This came out, it wasn't so crazy in your face with all these weird notes. This was almost like on a designer type level with the mass appealing type of fragrance, had that bright opening that people love, and really, really garnered this as the most popular, and I think still to this day is the most popular niche fragrance out there. Really made things obtainable where people were like, whoa, let's go try niche. We don't have to always go after Christian Dior and things like that, even though they do have a private line, but that's going off a topic. We can go after these $300 bottles because they actually do last and they do smell good now. Reformulations, blah, blah, blah. This one, for you purists, is 18B01. I prefer a bunch of different ones. This is one that I own, my wife's favorite batch. So I figured, why not put my wife's favorite batch against Hacivat, which I'm assuming at this point doesn't have any batch variations. This is so crazy. I do own 5 bottles of this, 17Q11 being my favorite, super juicy pineapple, 18K01, got 18B11 and 18K01. The list goes on and on. We're not getting into all the batch variations. I'll leave that up to Jesus Fragrance. Shout out to you, my boy. Definitely you can go into those Facebook pages, the Aventus groups, the Aventus addicts, things like that. Figure out which one you like. 18B01, very nice balanced batch to me. My wife's favorite, so I figured if I'm going to ask her, because I really can't go outside the streets and ask people, I'm going to put her favorite against Hacivat. See who wins. Going up against the king is the Turkish Wonder House. Came out of nowhere, Nishane. This one stole the show. Ani stole the show. Fan Your Flames. They have a bunch of good hits that really gained notoriety extremely fast, but Hacivat, a little cute little 50 ml, but actually got a lot of girth to it, a lot of heft, but came out of nowhere as a Creed Aventus clone or Creed Aventus killer. And that's what we're going to find out today. This Turkish house making a lot of waves, but can it take down that tried and true king of niches? All right, I'm going to do it the best way that I know how to, put them against certain categories and see which one stands out amongst the other, see if one is way better in one or the other, so you can make your decision which one is better. So the list that we're going to start with is packaging. We're going to check out the sprayer, performance, price, almost most importantly, the scent, and probably the reason why you purchase these fragrances, compliments. So to start all these off, we're not going to do a point system 1 through 5 like I normally do. I'm just going to give the win to one or the other to see which one I prefer, which one my wife, which one the people that I've asked prefer, as far as when we're getting into compliments and scent. And I'll let you make the decision, see which one is important to you. Some things may not be as important, where scent probably is the most important as far as compliments too, even though this is considered a boxer dropper where we want a panty dropper. So is one better than the other? Let's find out. All right, so side by side with packaging. Now, keeping in mind, I'm just going to go off of the bottles themselves. And this one, he naked. It's a little tester, got no cap. We all know what the bottles look like. I filmed this today. This baby don't have no cap. He's sad. But just bottle to bottle. And of course, 100 ml, 50 ml, so cute. going off just the bottles alone, because the packaging themselves would not be fair. And just for reference, I'll show you what the box that Hacivat comes in looks like. Box looks like this. Really cool. It's a wood box, like a little coffin for the Aventus to lay in. Opens up, fits in there perfect. I'm going to just put this out there. I could give a about the box, to be completely honest with you. I don't wear the box. Looks really good sitting on my shelf. Not a ton of people are going to come out, oh man, that looks like it smells good because of the box. I don't really care. The box is very cool. I would rather put the money where the spray is, kind of, if you know what I mean. I care about the sprayer that it disperses. I care what the scent smells like. So all this is like smoke and mirrors or a little icing on the cake. If the fragrance is good and it comes with this, even better. But realistically, like, I'm just keeping this just because it looks cool, but it's not going on the shelf. It goes in the closet. The bottle would be on my collection, so it takes up way too much damn space. So getting that out of the way, we're just going to go strictly off of the bottle, because that's kind of what more people are going to see. Can't see this baby in here. It's closed, little coffin, RIP. All right, so going off of bottle alone, side by side, classic, tried and true against what I would consider a more modern, fresh look. I prefer the Creed. It's just, I'm not biased, I don't think, towards either one. I did have this first. I've had Creed for a very long time. A bunch of different bottles I've tried. Unquestionable amounts, and really gets headache inducing when you start smelling, oh, this one's got a little twist of birch. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all the batch things, but just going side by side and just being honest with myself, this is a very cool looking bottle. Of course, the size difference makes a huge difference, where bigger is better for the most part, even though I probably would never ever go through this much juice, nor this much. The decants that I get work fine. I can carry them around. But just going off of the bottle alone, just that classic shiny with the black wrap, the little cool silhouette. You can actually see the grail tint in here. Ooh. You can see the stuff floating around. With this one, you kind of got to put it up to the light to see it. Very clean and classic. Nobody was going to complain. This one, I give it to Aventus for me. Aventus for the win. All right, going into another heavy hitting category, which I really, really like. When a bottle has a very good distribution, the atomizer disperses this fragrance really well. It just tells me that that person put a lot of thought into the fragrance. When they know they want that stuff on the subject, that's what really counts. So we're going to take the Aventus, spray on this wrist. Pretty good. Very coat, and that smell making the hairs on my arm stand up. It's so good. Extremely good sprayer. Now let's put the Hacivat. All right, Hacivat. Pretty good sprayer as well. Pretty good scent character as well. So just going off of the sprayer alone, and I know left hand maybe put more pressure, and looking at the amount. Now this is a stronger formulation, so it's a little shinier, but this is just being honest. I sprayed them side by side. The sprayer for Aventus is better. Now, just by barely, with just a little bit, see, it's pretty good. That was from a further distance, and we can do it right-handed so you can see. I'm wasting a bunch of juice in the air, but the sprayer is very adequate. It is very good. The Aventus sprayer, a little bit better. Point, Creed Aventus. All right, so if you're keeping tally right now, we got 2 points for Aventus. We got 0 points for the Hacivat, but we're getting into something that's going to spin around a little bit. This may be very important to a lot of people as well. We're going to get into performance. This one is an easy no contest for Hacivat. Clearly beats Aventus, at least on my skin, on my clothes, on everything. Beats it by at least an hour. Now, depending on batches, if we go back to 14s, I'm going to go to realistic batches that the majority of people, if they go and pick up a bottle of Creed Aventus, they're probably not getting a 14, a 15, a 16, or damn near even a 17, okay? They're probably going to be picking up a 19 batch, to be very, very honest. Maybe an 18 if you're lucky, this 18B01. So to find the new reformulation batches, probably you're going to be even weaker than this, and Hacivat is a new fragrance. So Hacivat clearly beats Aventus in performance by quite a large margin. Now, sillage projection, even better as well. This thing projects. That thing just filled. I can't even smell the Creed Aventus now with the sprays. Now it was 3-1, so it kind of isn't fair. But just wearing this, I've wore Aventus a gazillion times. I've wore Hacivat numerous times as well. I actually do like the scent a very lot. But performance, easy win for Hacivat. probably should give 2 points because it is that much more strong. The sillage, the performance, the longevity, everything is greater with Hacivat by a large margin. All right, now getting into price. Now, I'm going to be very upfront and very clear. You can find these on gray market much cheaper than trying to go to fragrancex. Those are going to be good deals. So what I did is just sourced from fragrancex, the one that I normally go to, and found Hacivat in the 100 ml. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be fair to put the prices. So I put the 100 ml of the Hacivat for $296. That's full price. Again, no tester type stuff. I'm just going what you would normally buy. Now, if you go through the actual distribution company, you're going to pay an absorbent amount of money. So probably don't do that unless you want 100% reassurance that you're getting authentic. But I've bought a ton of things from fragrancex. I buy a ton of stuff off of Facebook. So that's really my recommendation. If you're trying to find a fragrance, go find a page on Facebook designed for Hacivat, Aventus Addicts, Aventus Lounge, things like that. Get you what you want, save a ton of money. But $296 for 100 ml of Hacivat, $356 for a 100 ml of Aventus. So price, obviously, Hacivat takes it. All right. So with pricing out of the way, obviously, it's a little bit more expensive. So there's not really a good way I can just go off and say, oh, you're going to get from this dealer for this much. So the only thing I can do is go off of those websites. You're going to find Aventus a lot cheaper, probably more in the 250, 280 range, depending on the years. The rarity 19s and even the 20s, you're going to find even cheaper, but dig around, find the best. But going off of the value, that's the best I can do. Now, getting into what I think probably is the most important factor besides compliments is the scent. All right, so going off the scent, I'm going to take the scent and break it into two categories. You got the opening, then you got the mid, dry down. Now, of course, it does change a little bit and there's some different notes, but realistically, I don't really care about the mid. I want to see how it's going to smell when it's on you for hours. And then that opening that really catches people's attention. All right, so the opening itself, spraying it. I've smelled Aventus like a gazillion times. You would think like I would get sick of it. Nah. Bright, juicy, just a beauty. That's why I have certain batches I like. They all smell pretty good. Some of them dry down a little bit different, but that opening is like what catches people in the stores. Everybody knows that the opening is like the most important because they smell it. Bright, juicy, that pineapple, that bergamot, that apple that's in there is just so good. This one is a pretty fruity batch, so it's balanced as well. So you get a good bit, not a ton of birch. I'm not a huge fan of that dry down, but just that opening is really remarkable and something that catches a lot of people. So that's the opening for Aventus. Now getting to the Hacivat. Hacivat, pretty good actually. Has almost a sour apple to it, a little bit more sour than normal. Has a really good amount of bergamot as well. Can pick up some good pineapple, but you're really taking what I think is more of a sour twist on it, a little bit more herbaceous versus a bright. 9 times out of 10, people are definitely going to choose Aventus for the most part, at least in the opening. That bright, cheery, pineapple-y, citrus opening is very, very hard to deny. So for that reason, Creed Aventus takes the opening. Now, getting into dry down. In the mid, like I said, it changes a little bit. You start picking up a little bit more herbal, a little bit more sour tinge into the Hacivat. The base is a lot stronger. That's why it lasts a lot longer. And then you have the more classic, tried and true, the oak moss, a little bit of birch that's in there, the woody notes. This is a little bit more woody. This is a little bit more oak mossy. And something that I cannot get over is I'm a huge fan of ambergris. Ambergris all up in this piece when it dries down. So you're taking a nice oak mossy, ambergris, masculine scent versus that woody, sour greenish type note to it. So again, seems like I'm being biased, but I'm trying to be as fair as I can. The dry down to me is better for the Aventus, at least the batch that I have. Some could change, but the sour note will not catch to a lot of people. This one is more tried and true. This is a wonderful Chypre. It is built and designed and lasted for as long as it has because of what it is. That amazing opening, that very good, solid base. Ambergris now, depending on your batch, could be a little bit more smoky. Mine is less smoky, more ambergris, musky type of note. This one, like I said, does have a phenomenal opening. The mid, you get a little bit of that black currant as well. Dries down, a little sour greenish note, and then a really woody base, kind of green. So kind of what you prefer, I prefer. Aventus. So in every single category now, mid, if I was to break it down in the mid, I do like the mid as it dries in between a little bit more. It does have that sour tinge, but a lot of people I don't think are going to find that sour note very appealing, where this one really transitions so beautifully. So easily every single category and scent character for me is Aventus. All right, I don't got nobody here with me, but I've asked a ton of people. I've wore Aventus for many, many years. I've got numerous compliments. Panties and boxers have probably dropped for me. Wait a second, did I? I'll just leave that to your imagination. But compliments, I've gotten ungodly amount from Aventus. I actually have gotten some compliments from Hacivat, but way, way more from Aventus. Now, going strictly, and maybe this part is biased because I'm using my wife's favorite batch of Aventus that she loves. I let her smell. She refused to get on camera. Otherwise, she would be right here. She prefers Aventus in every single stage as well. That opening is just going to catch more people. It just is. It's brighter. It's funner. Now, for more strict niche fans that really love a little bit more of a challenge, because Aventus has been out for a long time. This is a tried and true niche fragrance that's been out, pushed around a lot of bullies, and really remained at the top of the pinnacle of success with niche. This one came out of nowhere, and I'm referring to Hacivat, and really came in quick with that DNA similar to Aventus, but realistically, it is nothing like Aventus. Yes, it has some pineapple. Yes, it is juicy and bright, but it's not in the same league. If you ask me, I do think it is a well-made fragrance. It has amazing power to it, but just cannot touch it. And my wife agrees, and the people that I've asked all agree Aventus better. So we add up those points. Realistically, the only thing that really matters if you're really counting is Hacivat is way, way stronger. The box looks really, really cool. Scent, that is subjective. That is what I like. That's what most of the people around me like. Now, Aventus is so tried and true, and they've smelled it 1,000 times. You would think, oh, I'm so sick of it. Every time I smell it, you saw my hairs were standing up. It's so good. It's just like reopens your eyes to it. And if you wear Aventus every single day, then maybe you would fatigue from it. Obviously, your olfactory does. But when you're wearing other stuff and you mix this back in and you haven't smelled it in a couple of weeks or a month, and you put it back on, you're like, yeah, baby. I can see why you're worth 350 or 250 or 400, depending on the batches that you get. Like I said, I have ones that I love. I still, to this day, I do a lot of Dua reviews. I wear a lot of other fragrances, but I always have kept Aventus. It's just something inside of my heart. Nothing really gets all the way there to it. It's just something about seeing that particular bottle and the way the sprayer reacts and just the compliments. It's just stuck around me for a long time. So Aventus, to me, is a better fragrance. The king knocks out the sultan. All right. For these two amazing niche royalty fragrances, that's all I have. Till I come to you again, I love you guys so much. Let me know if there's other fragrances that you want me to battle. You want me to put Chanel or Homme Sport up in there against Edition Blanche, something like that? Let me know. It could be any fragrance house, anywhere. If I have it, chances are I probably do because I have a little bit too much. Let me know down in the comments. I do have a specialty coming up. I have a bag filled with decants that fans and friends and other houses and everybody has sent me. I'm going to start doing little grab bags and do first impressions of those as well. We have a lot of stuff coming up on Mega Dave's Faves. But until I come to you again, continue to be blessed. Stay fresh.